what's up? Hey, what's up, you guys? Your girl G here, long time no see. Sorry that I went MIA for a little bit. I have been having a super busy week. I am on auntie mode. I have my niece and nephew for their little summer break, so I just be trying to spend time with them when I can. You get to sit them back after that. But I tell you, when people be having like this conversation about kids, the truth is, it's like when people be like, oh, you think your answer to being lonely and when you get older, like, is to have kids. That is not your solution. And then better yet, to be a woman, this was something I was said on Twitter. There is nothing better than to be a woman and to get out of a relationship with no kid. Like, ladies, y'all need to understand, just because you with a nigga and you love him does not mean you're supposed to have his baby. Like, does not mean you're supposed to have his baby. A lot of these dudes is out here getting they last name carry it on, ain't got nothing to carry on with that last name. But nonetheless, I had my nieces and nephew, and was just super busy, so I'm a little bit behind, and we just gonna play catch up, starting with Love and Marriage Huntsville, you guys, because I definitely did miss last week's review as well because of a power outage. Like, it was just every time I tried to get ready to do a whole bunch of recording, just kept happening. So let's not waste some time. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I watched this episode a little bit ago. Sorry, you guys, hold up. All right, y'all, I am back. So Love and Marriage Huntsville, I watched it like 1.5 times, so I think I remember everything. So I think we pick up where we left off, which was it Nell and the kids, them all talking about Nell needing to go to therapy. Nell is basically saying, all I need is my money. You just got me out here broke. All I know that's going to help me feel better is to get my money back, okay? Y'all hoes need to pay me back, okay? And she feels like that's just it. But, Nell, everybody else does have a fair consensus. Like, everybody else, usually where everybody else is saying, like, you the problem, that's when you have to start asking yourself, am I the drama? Nell, and sometimes, Nell, you might be the drama because your response is a little, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Girl, you remember how you literally told Lexi to shut the fuck up? Like, girl, you a little out there, okay? So, your delivery can use some delicacy. We'll just put it that way. And y'all, to get Dr. Francis back, y'all have no idea how much I love Dr. Francis. And, like, I love, because he be checking these dudes. That's why Martell don't want to go to therapy, especially with Dr. Francis. He don't want to face accountability. And Marsau didn't like going to Dr. Francis. None of them niggas like going to Dr. Francis. Tiffany couldn't handle it. Tiffany right up in the situation that Dr. Francis warned her about. You sitting here trying to heal your foster family childhood wounds with a baby, and not, we ain't gonna sit here and act like Tiffany and Lewis, with that baby, what that did. But that's neither here nor there. They may come back after their break and say otherwise, but nonetheless, I loved seeing Dr. Francis this episode. So after that, what else happens? It was Nell talking to Chris and the kids. Then what happened with Martell? Something happened with Martell this episode. Y'all, my mind is blanking. Hold on, let me think. Damn, what the happened this episode? Y'all, there's so much going on in my mind right now. And I literally just watched this not too long ago. Y'all are probably literally screaming at me. Okay, so it's not gonna be in order. So on the previous episode that I did miss, though, it was Sonny and Moses going to look for houses. So Martell and Chris, they basically like, need the monies. They not gonna look at it like, Destiny, girl, you my girl, but like, money, okay? We know Martell needed, okay? So he was definitely gonna take any opportunity to possibly get some money in his pockets, because you know he over there struggling broke. But nonetheless, so this episode we get Tricia and the baby daddy, right? So this baby daddy comes to meet with Marsau at Black, because come to find out, Marquez is the dude that used to work for Marsau that was beefing with Ken. Marsau knew there was a fight at his, establishment, but didn't know that it was Marquez. So here we are, we get introduced to Marquez, and y'all, the definition of couldn't be any more stamped on his forehead. Like, you are coming in talking about all his focus is on is a man raising, my kids, another man raising my kids, another man raising my kids. And although I hate that it's one of those situations where it's like right message, wrong messenger. Because Marsau said some very necessary things, but it's like, nigga, are you doing that in your home? Because we can definitely say that the father of the year award definitely ain't going to Marsau either. So it's just kind of like right message, wrong messenger. But nonetheless, Marsau said some real shit. What do you mean? You left. You're mad talking about, oh man, another man's raising my kids, but you let it happen. And I think that's really why he's pissed off, because he thought he was gonna be able to drop the ball and then just leave Tricia over there struggling as a single mama. But that's not what happened. You dropped the ball and next man picked it up. And not only did he pick up the ball, but she running it. Because to hear things like he's taking your kids out the country, because Marsau was like, so what does he do bad to your kids? Because I'm not really hearing any problems here. And the only thing he probably got is, the fact that Ken and him got into an argument. He was saying stuff like, oh, your kids got a new daddy or whatever. And it's like, let's understand this. Ken, I ain't gonna put it past him saying some slick shit like, basically, I'm taking care of your kids now, so you can't say nothing to me. I wouldn't be, put that past him. But at the end of the day, the problem is always going to be, my nigga Marquez, that you left. So there is no way that you can have a concern for another man raising your kids and then thinking that moving to Atlanta was gonna fix that. Because all you're sitting there saying, nah, I couldn't handle seeing that. So you think the answer to that was moving to Atlanta because you couldn't handle seeing that? How about you stay and get your shit together, and so your kids can stay under a roof with you? Why was that not a solution? The solution for you was to run away. And then when Tricia had next man ready, and see, that's another thing too. He wants to come up with this narrative in his head. Sorry, y'all, I'm just gonna fix it while I'm talking, because I'm on these back roads. He wants to put this narrative in the air that Tricia and him was messing around while they was together. He's talking about, oh, next man, you was commenting, on her pictures, and you've been waiting in the flanks, basically. So that's all the more reason for you to step your pussy up. What do you mean? You literally did not show up for your woman who lost her parents and her sister, if I'm not mistaken, too, right? So for you to sit there and think that a woman like that isn't going to need any type of you carrying the load, and you didn't help with none of it, and you ran, and Ken stepped up. And so like Marsau said, you got your daughter in there crying, talking about she had a bad day. What you want him to say? Go talk to your daddy? Go talk to your daddy? That's how much pride he has in this situation. That you don't even hear what you're saying when it comes to okay, if this man is gonna be in my kid's life, what type of example is he gonna be? But he wants Ken to be a bad example because he's a bad example, and I can't have no other man showing me up. But instead of, once again, stepping your pussy up, you didn't show up. That's why you all mad about the Muslim man and shit. Not only is he better than you when it comes to work ethic in life, he's better than you when it comes to work ethic just in the gym. Like, his body is a representation of how committed he is to things. And that's something that you don't have yourself, and it's pissing you off. Sorry. But Marsau basically, you know, had his feet to the fire and basically was like, yo, you really owe this man a thank you. Like, talking about, oh, you know, yeah, you know, he has done a lot for the kids. You know, he's taking them out the country. Then this nigga said he's got my son a car. This man got your son a car. That's what you mad about. You mad that he's showing up in ways that you can't. Like, let's be for real, Marquez. To find out on top of that, and then, like, he's going to the dances, the father like dances, all those things. Like, you're mad at him for showing up to places that you're not showing up. Like, niggas. That's all I just saw that, just like, niggas. So, yeah, moving on. So, Nell goes to talk to Melody. Wasn't nothing super crazy. Basically, Nell was like, you know, talking about her conversation that she had with her kids and Chris, and she said basically she feels like it's always like a good cop, bad cop situation where Chris always comes out looking like the good cop and Nell the crazy one. But it's kind of like, Nell, you don't really help, you know, with the way you be acting either. Like, it's easy to point the finger at you because you be acting crazy, you know. And so it's just like, I don't think it really is a good cop, bad cop situation. Also, as much as it is I'm sure Chris understands where his kids are coming from and how they might feel about how you react about a situation, because he knows you as his wife. He knows how you reacted. So when the kids come in with a complaint, I don't think Chris is surprised by any imagine of the word, you know. But yeah, so Mel was like, so, well, Miss Nell, therapy was, Nell doing hers. Mel's hair looked good. I loved the wig that she had on in that scene. But basically she was like, the generations above us tend to not, view therapy as a thing. They don't. Shoot, trying to just in general, I know exactly how it is. You be trying to kind of nudge people to go get some help, because it's like, bitch, I want to help you, but this is some work that you gonna have to do, you can't help people that don't want to help themselves, though, unfortunately. And then all she can keep saying, like, y'all keep trying to do this reverse psychology on me. I'm not the one that need help. Y'all need to talk to him. And Mel basically was just there. Nell offered, in a nice way, just be like, girl, just try it, and see how you feel after the first one. You might surprise yourself, at least to do it for the kids, so you can say, you tried it, So, yeah. So after that, did Stormy, was that when Stormy and Martell talked this episode? Did Stormy and Martell talk? All right, y'all, let me go ahead and finish this. My brain is in 600 different pieces. It's a lot happening. It's just a lot happening. But I'm back. I re-looked at my notes or whatever. So, next to talk about was Nell and the family sitting down with Dr. Francis. Dr. Francis came in. I was like, yes, Dr. Francis, he's back. But we need you back with the people. Okay, Dr. Francis should have been there last time when they was in Houston or wherever they went, where everybody was in the house. Instead of having that woman there, having Dr. Francis there would have been good. But nonetheless, he comes in and Nell gives him the lowdown. She feels like Chris, always fill me in last minute, but then when I get filled in last minute, it'll probably be something I done already told them. So then they don't want to come to me. They don't want to hear the truth. And then, I just get tired, because the only time they call me or, need me is if it's, they need me to save them, with some money about something. And, it's starting to get too much on me. And so Francis asked, the kids' point of view. And they were like, we tend to talk to dad because, at least you're going to be able to get off what you saying before how you are, where the minute I start talking, you overshadowing me. And she's like, because I probably already done told your ass so. But I get what Nell is saying in the extent of, imagine you telling somebody, don't do this, like that, don't do this, it's not gonna work. And then this person comes back after it's effed up and then expect you to help them with the solution. When, like, I told you that wasn't gonna work, but now you want to come to me and get help for a solution and see what happens. Probably, I get what Nell is saying now that I'm thinking about it. See, what happens is they'll probably, not go for what their mom says. Whatever happens, and they go to the daddy first to get some, questions answered or to talk about it, because they probably don't want to hear I told you so, or just in essence have to deal with the back talking that's just gonna be with Nell, because it's just kind of like, I don't want to have to deal with all that, because Nell, when she gets all hyped up, she goes, y'all know, we've seen it. So it's like, and she got that little squeak in her voice too. She raspy but squeaky at the same time. And it's just kind of like, I think they go to the dad first, and then when the dad ain't got no solution or doesn't want to do the solution, they got to end up, getting it handled by the mom. Or when Chris talks to Nell, she takes it on to fix it. And it's just kind of like, I get in that aspect how she's feeling. Like, that's why I be so annoyed, because like, I be done told y'all, but then now when you need help fixing it, here it is, you want to come have me once again save you. But it also doesn't negate Nell, though, as Dr. Francis was saying. Like, you're thinking about the money aspect of it, and they're thinking about the emotions, the feelings aspect of it. Because when you do all that extraness, it shuts that, like, they shut down. So you're not really gonna get, the necessary actions or just like the necessary conversation with them, because as your son said, and we've noticed as viewers, you listen to respond, you ready to, say something back, And so, Dr. Francis, gave his Psych 101, basically, like, which is what we all know. Like, if you just are a person who just knows general psychology, the more boisterous, the more, gabby, as in talking, the more, sometimes personality or just even harsh the person is, it's them in kind of like self-defense mode, or just trying to hide, their vulnerabilities or whatever. And so it's like, Nell, her little tiny body, she still puffs up with it, she's like a little puffer fish, where it's like she tiny, but when Nell want to swell up, she will, And so, Dr. Francis was just basically told her, say something positive to your kids, because I'm also too, I think a lot of the, probably majority of interactions that they do have with Nell fall on the negative side, because, but I get it, because, she's watching, her son Chris, he getting arrested, and, dealing with depression, and like, just all of those things, and he's not making good decisions. That one daughter, Lexi, she's over there with the mom, but these kids are, over here with Chris. Like, it's a whole lot. So, nonetheless, still speaking some type of positivity into your kids is also important. From this book I read, it says it would take 7 good things to absolve or kind of like minimize the effects of one bad thing said to a child, or to, like, a growing adult or whatever. So it's like, you think of all the times that you are speaking or correcting your child, or, if you are with that parent that is kind of like a negative reinforcer, it could probably be a damper on your emotions, So I think Dr. Francis kind of knew what he was doing, with that. But he basically was like, look, this is only going to, grow if you water it. So, I'm going to leave, but make sure y'all continue and, actually working on fixing this. So we get to Tricia and her, ex-husband, future ex-husband, baby daddy, ain't like all of the above. He come over, and basically, it's just like, why is my kid, not calling me daddy no more? Like, why is this man, you got this man, like, trying to fill in and take my space as dad? And she's like, he's actually not. Like, I think he's not understanding in the aspect of like, especially when it comes to his daughter. And I do feel, also too, like why he's focusing specifically on the daughter, and also like, what about the son? Like, he never really mentions the son that much, because I also think like the son is also old enough to verbalize the ways that his dad hurt him. But also with the daughter, he wants to pinpoint the daughter too. Now that I'm talking it out, I think he wants to pinpoint the daughter just for the fact of that she possibly said that, what kind of man leaves his family type situation, something she probably overheard. But to hear that those sentiments still rang with her emotionally, because at the end of the day, it is a situation of like, well, daddy left, like daddy's not here, he's gone. And it's not giving you had no type of conversation with your kids. It's giving like you just like, daddy's going to Atlanta, and then only thing you doing is calling, 2 times a week, and you think that they supposed to understand what that is. Like, you flaked and then are mad about the consequences. And I'm glad Marsau called it, where he's like, you can't just take accountability of like the actions, the consequences that come with it are also something that you need to acknowledge. Like, he really is trying to do everything to not acknowledge of all the things that you're discussing and having an issue with Ken would not be even a problem if you were to do this that you were supposed to do. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. What? Sorry, y'all. I'm back. My niece knocking on the window. But yeah, what was I talking about? Trish basically trying to reiterate to the husband of hers that you need to speak with your kids. I think he avoids also having a conversation with his kids because deep down he knows he effed up, but he wants to focus on like maybe the little tidbits of points that he may be able to have on Ken, which is him saying some slick shit of like, oh yeah, I'm like your kid's daddy now, or some stuff like that, or it's just kind of like, you're mad at him, but you're not doing nothing about it, like, at all. So it's like, who are you really mad at? But, he also, Marquez brought up, when you started going to the gym, I see why now, because obviously muscle man. Yeah, so Tricia just kind of like rolled her eyes, and he was like, yeah, muscle man, all of a sudden see why you love the gym. And, I'm talking about who this, and you like, oh, it's Ken. And see, I see he's on some Martell type shit too. Marquez and Martell is one and the same, because Marquez is doing that stupid of, well, we weren't together, like we weren't together as in we were separated, so if you entertain another man, like you wrong, because y'all know how Martell constantly trying to say that Melody cheated, but she moved out, like y'all weren't even together, she moved out and was in her own place, like, sir, stop it. But because y'all still technically were like on paper married, you want to be able to try to hold that as she cheated too. And so Marquez is on some, because what's her name, Tricia was like, oh, when me and him, finally we're in a cordial space, I talked to him about, this is Ken. And she was like, but from then on it was like a total 180, like things started changing. And as it usually does, the minute a dude find out that, okay, another in the picture, it's like you don't want the person, but then you don't want nobody else to have them. You even said to Marsau, like, you don't even know if like you really loved her or like were in love with her. So if you weren't in love with her, that only means more than likely you weren't treating her right, because you don't even like her like that. So you only got with her and got married because y'all had kids young and were, trying to do it the right way, I presume. But nonetheless, to not be there for her in those dire needs, you weren't there, my boy. And for you to be out with your dudes, I'm just hanging out with your boys all the time, like, boy, Marquez, stop it. So, she was like, I really am getting annoyed, because like, it's like he's trying to paint it like I was talking to Ken while we were together, and that's not what happened. Like, I see exactly what he's doing on some Martell shit. So he's like, but let's sit down, man to man, have a conversation, no testosterone, I get out what I gotta say, he get out what he gotta say, and let's talk it out. And so she's like, like, that's cool. And so he's like, you know, I'll do the divorce or whatever while I'm down here. He's like, I think it's like, you know, $400. And she was like, okay. He was like, want to go half? She was like, fine. Like, you gotta sit here talking about going halvesies. The fact that you talking about going half on this divorce lets us know where you at, my nigga. Like, and then the funny other part was like, he got upset because the ladies at the school thought that Ken was the daddy, and it's like, nigga, he the one showed up. Like, who you mad at? Because somebody, oh, well, we thought her dad, you know, drove trucks, and it's like, well, Ken drive trucks, and he the one showing up. So like, you keep like, I really am just baffled by how the way men do mental gymnastics, men like Marquez and Martell, like how they do mental gymnastics of like how they are not showing up for people and then feeling like nobody else is supposed to like move according to that, or like life is not supposed to, like the person's not supposed to want to do better than that. They're just supposed to sit there and tolerate that ass behavior that you're giving them, you know? And there's not supposed to be any type of reaction from you. Like, it's just crazy. But yeah, I really think that's it. I don't want this video to get too long because I want to talk to y'all about a whole bunch of other things. Shit, somebody tried to take out Trump. Or did they? Or did they? Then there's Bad Baby. Then there's Irv Gotti. There's just so much stuff. Divorcing the Black, Megan Jonathan, that I need to come back and talk to you guys about. So just make sure to watch this video back, like the video, drop down in the comments, tag, post, share, all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.